Hiya, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. It is so good to see you. We finally have some info and some stuff to say to us in this very malnourished community. Anyways, first things first, straight out of the gate, some of the most important information that you guys are going to need to know is that they are changing the banner for characters. So, with Child maybe making a dent in this, they are changing the banners to essentially provide two characters at once. And no joke, on stream I was literally just talking to you guys about this, which I was like, do you ever think they'll do the thing that they do for the weapon banner, where you can like get two options, like one 5-star or the other? They're kind of doing this, except not really. It's significantly more forgiving. You can literally choose to go on the banner, which is Albedo's or Eula's, but both will gain you pity. So it'll be a really interesting thing to see if one banner has really good 4 stars and you want to build pity there and then wish on the 5-star banner character that you actually want if the 5-star that you want's banner is just shitty. But needless to say, something to consider. I would highly suggest not pretending to build pity, because it's a kind of a gamble in a game that's already too much gambling. Anywho, but that's something that is going to change, and a must-love change for me personally. I love it if they're ever going to introduce Klee or Mona or Diluc back into the story. Now they're going to have banners subsequently going alongside current banners, which can be fantastic. And again, I think could be a lot of ways that people can leverage things, although I do admit that that does seem like kind of a counterpoint to us ever getting Garu, because all they have to do is just keep her out of the story and they'll never have to give her another rerun, because yeah, we just skipped Garu entirely, which is incredibly frustrating. Also Xiao, but anywho, this is probably what reruns will be going into the future, and frankly this is what I kind of prefer, and I think this is a way to kind of appease everybody in a way. Anywho, the other thing to note is that the first banner is going to be Albedo, coupled with Eula, and then the second phase of this patch is going to be of Garu and Itto. Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about Itto and etc. Oh my god, I've been holding this, and I haven't been holding it back. We made a video in a weird skill mask where we kind of talked about it. But what is the main meat of 2.3? As soon as this patch launches, what are we going to be able to do and attain? There are 2 new artifact sets, and I believe a quest with Albedo right out of the gate, as well as there's a new boss. And of course, this new boss is going to be Itto's and Garu's ascension material needed, and all of those things. So yeah, it's just a world boss. It's awesome. It is like a floating wolf thing. It looks super sick. And as far as the artifacts go, man, artifacts are looking spicy. Finally, there's an artifact set for Albedo, and characters may be coming down the line. Also Xiangling, which people aren't talking enough about. But yes, essentially with the new artifact set, the first one called the Husk of Opulent Dreams. Hopefully I'm saying that right, probably not. The 2-piece gives you defense percentage plus 30%, awesome. And of course the 4-piece is a little more complicated. Basically you'll gain stacks, and if you're on the field using the character and you apply Geo, you gain 1 stack, and it's on like a 0.3% cooldown, so you're going to be able to gain a lot of stacks if you're applying Geo on the field. Pretty good. But if you're dealing geo damage off the field, you are still going to get 1 stack, but instead of every 0.3 seconds, basically back to back, you're gonna have to wait 3 seconds in order to gain that stack. So Albedo will kind of be at a weird nerfed loss here, a tiny bit. But it's every 3 seconds. Combat encounters take a little bit longer than that, depending on where you're at endgame. But regardless, what do these stacks give us, and how many stacks can we get? Well, we can get up to 4 stacks, and what they do is they buff up your defense and your geo damage simultaneously. So this is going to stack up to, I believe, 24% on both ends if you get this maxed out. And the cool thing about this is that every 6 seconds you lose 1 stack, which is pretty sweet. So you're going to be able to hang on to these stacks for a pretty long time, frankly. Oh, and I don't know, there could be weapons that scale off of having high defense, meaning higher damage and stuff like that. Anywho, but yes, this is a good artifact set. I can't wait to mess around with it. I'm so happy that now the characters that scale off of defense have a direct option that is both good in both ways. It's kind of shitty that it's Geo, because what happens if there's a character that scales off defense but isn't Geo? A little unfortunate, but I digress. The other set is way more confusing to me, but basically it's the Ocean Hued Clam. 2-piece is going to give you healing bonus. When a character with the artifact set equipped heals a party member, a sea foam will appear for 3 seconds, accumulating the amount of HP recovered from healing, including overflow healing. I think meaning overhealing, so if you're not actually like recovering health, it still counts as potential healing, which is going to be converted, I believe, into damage. After the 3 seconds, the sea foam will explode, dealing damage to nearby opponents based on 90% of whatever your healing accrued was. Which is really interesting and really good for a certain character, specifically Kokomi, which is why it's colored like her. But yes, this is basically any healer. Barbara, I would imagine, also works as any character that can mass apply healing over a huge duration of time. I think maybe, possibly, Bennett could use this in a weird way, but Bennett, I'm not sure. This is going to be really interesting to see how much healing you can get, because I mean, in some characters, you can literally heal for like 15k per tick or something crazy. So that could get up to being equal to damage, but it's only every 3 seconds, so it's kind of nerfed, and it's all that kind of stuff. But anywho, just something to consider. If you have some healing characters, maybe you can kind of subvert their expectations and give them more damage, but also give them a reason to be on the field and heal. So this is kind of an answer to Kokomi's issues. I don't know if it's going to make me want or many people to continue to play her, but I think this will give her a place, at least, because she didn't really have any sort of place yet. But I'm happy to report that now she does. Kind of building healing gives you some damage. Love to hear it. Anywho, we talked about the badass wolf thing. Just gotta kill it, basically. It's gonna have various phases, but let's be honest, this game is meant for puppies. Anywho, hey, speaking of puppies, let's talk about Garu. And then, but let's talk about Garu. Okay, so I want to make a video about just them in the future, breaking down their exact skills, maybe hinting at what their passive traits may be and why they are relevant. But I also want to couple that with us talking on stream today, which is yesterday, about potential builds for, of course, these characters. Anywho, I was just like including you guys, so that's why I'm waiting, being patient with talking about all the minutiae of these characters, but essentially a breeze breakdown of Garu. Garu is functionally a geo support unit / support character in general. His E essentially plants down a flag. It does some mediocre damage when you plant the flag, but what it's mainly there to do is to be a geo unit buffer, which essentially is when you have more geo characters in your party, you're going to be getting more effects. So the first one, just having Garu in your party, is going to give you the first edition of this thing, which is going to increase your defense. Not a percentage, it's by a base. So you're going to be getting at like a max talent like 300 defense gain, which is pretty good, pretty okay. Unfortunately, it's if you have 2 geo people in your team, impenetrable, which gets you greater interruption resistance, which is good, sure. And then of course, having 3 geo people gives you crunch, which is going to increase your geo damage by 15%. So it's something, but just not a lot. Also, something that's relevant is when a member leaves the field, its buff will go away in 2 seconds. Which to me really just seems like it nerfs him. The good news is that this thing's duration and cooldown are one of the same, so we'll be able to back-to-back cast this whenever it's up, which is great. It's a geo construct, so it'll probably break though, so a little shitty. But anyways, now his alt is the exact same thing, called General's Glory. It will summon this amazingly cute chibi thing to the right of your shoulder, and it will follow you though, so this is a little bit different from his E. It will actually stay with you constantly. Also, it generates 1 crystal collapse every 1.5 seconds that deal AoE damage to opponents within the AoE. So that crystal collapse, I'm curious because I don't know whether that's going to be geo damage. I would imagine it is, but if it isn't, then that's just a nice damage pluck every couple seconds that's going to be with this little thing on your shoulder, which is fantastic. The thing that's less fantastic and that really breaks this kind of character for me a little bit, just a little bit, is its duration for this cute little chibi is 9 seconds and is on a 20-second cooldown, and has 80 energy cost, which is not bad. Actually, I like energy cost characters at this point, but it had a 20-second cooldown though. You're not going to be able to see this thing that much, and it's going to be sitting on the back end for a pretty long time, which honestly to me kind of breaks the character a little bit, but I digress. Still very cool. Again, you're getting a slew of buffs. Did I mention it buffs your, similar to your E, it buffs your defense and your all of these things. so yeah, but it's just a little unfortunate that cute little doggy is going to only be able to stick with you for 9 seconds. Now, maybe possibly if you have certain constellations, the cooldowns become less of a problem, but I digress. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, also his constellations make him nutty. I'll just say that. Really buffs him up. There is one intrinsic problem with this though, that I would always like to mention, and I still do not understand how you are going to get around it necessarily. But yeah, this guy requires you to have, at the best, to utilize him at his full potential, 3 people in your party that are geo-based. How are you going to crack shields? From what I've seen, he doesn't have a talent that decreases your shield break or anything like that. So kind of just sitting here like, well, Hope there's something to that. Hope there's something that works out. Because yikes. Could have missed something, so to be fair, yes. Alright, so that was not very fast. Hopefully I cut that down a little bit, because I do not want to dwell too much on the characters, because I do want to make a whole video where we literally just talk about them nonstop. Anywho, let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Itto. Which, by the way, guys, now that you've seen the things that I've seen months ago, I can finally be honest with you about why I'm super jazzed about Itto. Yes, he looks fantastic. I don't mind his personality being a childlike kid who wants to challenge everybody either. But the main thing, dude, is this. Do you see that? That is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Hey, Garu, take your little stupid dog thing and get it out of my face. I want this weird cow thing, this bull thing. I love it. It's like pudgy. Ah! I can't handle it. Anyways, so yes, I want Itto because of the mascot business, and he looks so fucking cute. The only thing that sucks is that it's only up for duration of 6 seconds and cooldown of 10 seconds, which is a 4-second downtime. Not bad, but this thing motherfucking slaps, dude. Has great scaling. Not gonna mention the exact numbers, but what this thing does do is this gains a stack for Itto. So if you guys have no idea how Itto works, essentially Itto massively scales off of defense. But how he works is he gains stacks. I'm not going to give them their name because they're hard to say. Superlative super strength. You gain stacks naturally by just going through your full combo and hitting something with your last strike. Now the good news is this is going to be relatively easy for Itto because he doesn't lose his combo string for a couple seconds. So you can dodge, jump, I believe, and it won't cancel his combo string. So you're going to be able to get that final hit relatively fast. But you're going to be guaranteed one of these combo strings or these stacks by just throwing your cute little mascot bull at an enemy. So then the question is, what do these stacks do? These stacks allow you to charge attack for free and slap shit really, really hard. Now maybe possibly his final multiplier on his ending slash is insanely high, like Ganyu charge attack high, my dude. Anyways, which begs the question, do you want to gain a lot of stacks and then like throw them all out, or do you want to gain one stack and then just quickly expend it? I don't know. I don't really think it matters. I think this is going to be one of those characters where you can literally choose. If you want to just dumpster a big enemy, yeah, probably just gain one stack, slap him, go through one combo string, hit the final attack, and then hit him with the max charge attack hit and nuke him down. But if you got a lot of tiny enemies and you just want to kind of keep sweeping and doing large AoE attacks, this is going to be your bread and butter. I need to shut up and stop ranting about the character's potential because that's not the video for this. Anyways, so we know his E, we know how he kind of functions and works, trying to gain stacks and then slapping that out with charge attacks. Fantastic. Also, how he works is you basically hold tap your charge ability to start firing out these kind of superlative super strength. Anyways, corn dog meta is also a thing. So his ult is basically going to summon forth this giant Oni club that scales heavily off of your defense. So again, the way to play Itto is to build defense because this will immediately boost up his attack bonus, and it will also give him a short boost of attack speed for the duration of his ult, which unfortunately, fortunately lasts like 10 seconds, which is longer than balls. And it also is on an 8-second cooldown, 7 seconds of downtime, not that bad. It's also weirdly 7 energy cost and not 80. Is Garu's the same thing? Why is that a thing? Why is it not 80? I don't know why it's 70. Weird. Why not just make it 80? Anyways, maybe it's just because it's harder to regenerate particles for him, so that's a way they can circumnavigate that, maybe. Regardless, this is absolutely fantastic. I will say one thing to note. I am not going to speculate about the power of characters. I'm only going to be excited about the potential and interest of them, okay? But one thing I will mention is a certain website that tracks a lot of content and stuff for Genshin, and usually it's like relative to general knowledge, including beta knowledge, and for whatever reason, people in the beta put Itto at SS rank. In this tier list bit of business. Just thought I'd point it out, so maybe Itto, not gonna say anything, who knows, could be actually really fucking good. They put him in SS, that's the highest possible character value you can have in a character. Could be just being presumptuous, but I think this is maybe, possibly, where he could be. But I know nothing, I've been wrong too many times to care, so just take that into note. Itto and Garu we'll talk about more in the future, and I cannot wait, dude. This is where I'm at. This is my favorite part about the game, is the potential of characters that oftentimes fall short. But back to the update, we're kind of going in sequence of the things that are the most interesting and or things to keep note of, because some of y'all bitches drop off the video like I'm just talking about Caesar Milan. I don't even know who that is. I've just heard the name before. It's the guy who, oh, it's so relevant because he trains dogs. Oh my God, my brain. Anyways, yeah, it's actually, he seems like a very interesting guy. Remember that time I got bit in the hand really fucking hard by a dog and just kind of took it like a champion? Brutal. Anyways, now just a quick little breeze by of the events. They're pretty chill, frankly. A lot of it's like we're returning to Dragonspine. I imagine that's what we're going to be getting in the very start of 2.3 is Albedo being like, oh my God, shit's happening. Come help us. Here's some training arenas. I'm going to test you again. Anyway, so we're going to go through a bunch of cute little events where we're like jumping around, we're getting buffs, we're running through the encounters. These actually look pretty interesting and endearing, where you pick up various buffs that give you jump height, that also give you the ability to crack ice. Seems good. We'll talk about it at the end. The worries about it, there's also a classic, hey, protect this thing, and enemies are going to come and kick that ass, and you're just going to melt them, and then it's going to be over in 2 seconds, and then you're going to be without content. Anyways, various rewards. We are also getting the ability with this event to actually make snowmen, and we're going to be able to take them into our Serenity Pot at the event's end. We're also going to be able to put various little things on them and share resources to snowmen resources. Okay. Anyways, we're also going to Primo Gems books, all the event rewards that we've always gotten throughout the years. Year, maybe. No, it's about almost a year and a half, I think. Well, no, that's too much. Also, how could I forget? We're getting the weird, like, Corgi, whatever the dog name is. I don't know. It's a weird trend. People like that dog. I find it looks like a happy dog, but maybe shouldn't, I don't know how it exists. You know? Anyways. Regardless, we're getting dog event where we're playing basically hide and go seek and collection of animals and all that. The good news is that we're also going to be able to actually take animals from the overworld into our Serenity Pot now, after the event has, of course, come to an end. So that's at least interesting. I don't know how much it's just gonna be run to the end, grab the dog, and leave. Yeah, but alas, hey, something a little different, and honestly, quite the level of madness we're getting into, but fuck it, embrace the crazy. Let's go. Also, we're getting a lot of returning events, unfortunately. But we're getting the Marvelous Mavel whatever guy who gives you a gift, which is the most non-event that they've ever had, and it's always here. Anywho, if you like it, just get the Primo Gems and leave, then sure. But the other thing is that Corruptive Overflow event, where like the Leylands have produced this red crystal that kind of buffs up the enemies. You just break the crystal, knock the enemies' heads off, and progress. Hopefully there's a lot of content and a lot of spots to break, so that there's things to do and, well, slight reasons to do them, I suppose. Regardless, there's also a story mission for Itto, and I know one member of our community is going to be going just buck wild right now, but there is also a companion quest for the lovely and gigantic Bido. So for those of you Bido lovers out there, I know one, you're gonna be just going apeshit, so I'm happy for you. All the love. I can't wait to play Itto's story though, because it looks metal as hell. But it'll also be cool to hear more about Bido. All in all, my friends, that is the general consensus of the event. Also, one thing to note that I didn't really mention is the weapon that we are getting from the event is very, very much made for a F2P Albedo. I don't think it'll be his best in slot, because I think his weapon banner is going to have his best in slot, but it is going to be very, very good. Yes, hopefully giving Albedo a place in the meta to some extent. And ladies and gentlemen, all things considered, I'm very happy with Itto, very excited by the prospect of their kit and abilities. But the one thing, and I hate to be a downer here, guys, I'm gonna crush some of you for a little bit. To me, when I look at the events and I look at all the business, I very much feel like it doesn't solve the core problem that I am having with Genshin right now, which is the fact that it feels meaningless to do. You know, like Primo Gems used to be this thing that was super important and relevant, but now that a lot of people have characters that they want, they like, and that they just want to experience and play more of, you're kind of stuck in this kind of like, but wait, I don't even need really the Primo Gems anymore, because I don't need any, I don't need it for anything. Yeah, like as much as I like the look of characters, yeah, I don't know. There's this impermanency that like hangs over the head of me, and I feel like some of you guys, that just makes things feel a touch meaningless, frankly. So I hate to be a downer. Very excited for 2.3. I just feel like, again, the one saving grace that I was hoping to dear God was going to be in here was any just whimper of or hint of end game content, or at least content that stays. But I don't know if we'll ever get that, so I think we'll just have to take this on the chin and accept that this is the game that this is, and be excited for characters, and hopefully don't spend money in this game until they start delivering things that you genuinely want. But I know Ito looking awesome as hell. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you guys who are still finding the wonder in Genshin Impact, I salute you. I hope I can find my way back to you. But it's quite hard as of late. But again, always love talking about the general news. It's just getting in there and grinding that feels a little meaningless at this current point. But hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into my nonsense. Also, we stream every single day except Monday and Wednesday, every day at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So hopefully I can see you there. We always getting up to some crazy shit. Come talk to me about anything. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time, my friends. Appreciate you being patient with me. And expect that video of us gushing about Ito and Garu and speculating about their best artifact set, which is obvious, or potential characters that could assist them in combat. Love you to bits. Thank you again, and goodbye, my friends.